We're deep in the heart of Texas. It's time for 2009's version of the Flagstar Bank Freestone Pro Motocross National from Wortham, Texas. Round 3 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship in the 250 class. Jason Wygant joined by 4-time AMA Pro National Champion David Bailey. Awesome racing thus far this year in the 250 class,
yes,
David.
The talent is so deep. You see these guys all getting ready for their sight lap. It's amazing how many guys are fast now, and you get this huge pack at the front. But the 4 guys that really impressed me this morning was Christophe Purcell and Ryan Dungey, Trey Kennard, who's somewhat local here, and Justin Barsha. That kid is fast all the time. But those 4 really stood out. You know, Purcell and Dungey, though, splitting those wins. There's a look at Purcell so far in this first couple rounds, and the way Supercross went, it kind of looks like they're going to try to turn this into a 2-man race. But I think today and next weekend on NBC, those are going to be the rounds that matter the most and really establish what's going to happen the rest of the series.
Well, Ryan Dungey would like to establish himself. He is, of course, the points leader in this series. So we'll give you a look at those, but it's very close. Only 2 points separate Dungey from Purcell. And Trey Kennard, who's been very consistent this year, is in third. The rest of the guys, Tyler Rattray, who's coming over from Europe, as well as Tommy Searle, who you see in ninth, they need to give a little more. They want to be up there with Dungey and Purcell. Earlier today, Aaron Bates caught up with Ryan Dungey for our Progressive pre-race report.
Well, he's exceptionally talented on a motorcycle, and that's how you sport the red number 10. Ryan, take us through the season. Obviously, you're the points leader right now, leading by 2 points, having won two motos. Talk about the pressure of the season coming in, being the favorite.
Well, I really think it's too early to feel any pressure. You know, it's early in the season. We're only at the 3rd race, and there's 12. So just take one race at a time and go out there and do like we know how to do. I think that's all we can, really.
Size up your competition for us.
You know, there's I'm actually surprised. You know, the class is super deep this year. I mean, even in the big class. But our class is, it's always been one to know and to be stacked. So there's a lot of guys. I mean, Purcell's right there behind me, a couple points. So he's not giving me any leeway to breathe. You know, so I always got to be on top of my game. But it makes it fun. You know, it's why we race, and feel that adrenaline. So it's fun.
This track is a vicious one, but Ryan Dungey is capable of making it happen because consistency pays off.
All right, there is Ryan Dungey surveying this track as they're on their sight lap. Talk about racing out here in Texas.
Well, it's hot. I think we've you can just see it. Look at the heat, okay? And, you know, you got a little bit of a breeze going. That helps some, but it's tough out here. And the local guys have a little bit of advantage because the dirt here, it's so much different than other places in the country. These guys all have a pretty good advantage. You can see their ages, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's a lot of good riders on the horizon.
All right, let's get to know these home boys. Let's talk to them. Will Hahn, Trey Kennard, Blake Wharton, the rest.
It's awesome. It's nice to be able to drive down here in my truck and not have to get on a plane for once to go to a race. And for when my family can be here, no problem. And all my friends show up to see us ride. And not just us, to see everybody race. And the facility's great. Tony Miller's been doing a great job. It's progressing every year. It's gotten better every year. And it seems like the turnout's gotten better every year. So it's going to be a good one for sure.
This is the closest thing I have to a home race, so to be here and have a lot of friends and family that are here, so you know, it's just another race to me, but at the same time it's a little special, so I'm just going to go out there and give it my all and see how it turns out.
Everybody says it's an advantage, whatever, but you know, I've been staying in California a little bit more than normal, so it's not really any more advantage to me than anybody else. It's just, you know, I have my friends and family here just to root me on. I have a little bit more people out there for me, and that's really about it.
I don't know if I'm at advantage because I don't get to ride this track much, but I'm in my hometown, got all my friends here, my family, so it's going to be fun to do good here, yeah.
Well, you hear what it takes to go fast at motocross. They don't have the Texas accent. They've been traveling the country to get faster and faster. We'll have highlights of Moto 1 when we reach it. Riders are at the gate ready for Moto number 2, but before we watch this, we'll give you the highlights of Moto number 1. It was a good one, and as expected, the 377 and the 10 were the riders to beat. So here we are getting ready in the hot Texas heat. Not quite as hot as it was last year, but Texas in June, it's hot enough. Trey Kennard out of Oklahoma makes the home track people happy, gets the whole shot, big pile up there in turn number 1. Unfortunately, teammate of Kennard, Justin Barsha, on the right side of your screen, watch this. He goes down. He was up front, So Barsha, the spectacular wonder kid from the first couple rounds, has trouble. Then Kennard crashes out of the lead. And taking advantage of that, we're going to say for the first time in this show, the crafty Frenchman, Christophe Pourcel.
A solid race for him. He was the fastest, even after he got to the lead with the charge that Dungey was putting on, trying to come up through the pack, making a move on Searle right here. Pourcel was still the fastest.
Dungey had to keep working to get it around Searle. Then he goes after Metcalf on the 24. A lot of work for Dungey. Like you said, David, even when he got in the second, he was not able to make up ground.
Yeah, Weimer, that's just one of those crashes, Jason, where you're like, oh, man, can I just do that over again? Watch how out of control it gets for Pourcel. Whoa, that was a wild ride through those sand whoops. And then 61 Wharton on the inside, putting up with some pressure here from his teammate Kennard, working his way back inside the top 10. And Wharton makes a nice recovery, but Barsha down for the second time, and this time it took a little bit more out of him.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, not much taken out of Christophe Pourcel. Giant lead pretty much all the way through, and he takes over the points lead by 1 as he takes the first moto victory, and Dungey finishes second. There's a 3-point gap between winning and second. So in between motos, at least at the moment, Pourcel is now your series points leader, but Kennard had the lead, crashed out of the top 10, came all the way back to third. An amazing run. And we're ready to go racing here in moto number 2. And the track's even rougher, the temperatures are even hotter, and for most of the guys, except maybe Pourcel, they used a lot of energy in that first moto.
Yeah, he didn't really seem to back down that much. You know, he's still running a fast pace, but it just seems like when he's on it, he doesn't use as much energy. So he's a tough guy to read. I haven't gotten to watch him enough to really kind of get in his head a bit and try to figure any of that out. But, you know, he makes it look easier than everybody else. Certainly Dungey had a lot more work cut out for him. So did Kennard. And, you know, at this point, you got to give the advantage to Pourcel. He's on the far inside right here. On the inside, you see Dungey, and then Rattray, and then Larson. You see the 39 of Kennard, and his teammate Barsha starting in about the same spot. See if they can do that again. Those Honda Geico bikes have been unbelievable off the start. It's usually Pro Circuit that dominates the starts, but we haven't seen that yet this year. Yeah, the Honda guys have been there, and they've got some good finishes, too. Here we go, folks. Revs are up. The gate's going to drop. It's like Dungey got in front of Pourcel, but it's the KTM of Max Anstey that beat everyone in the first turn, and then it's Kennard getting around Anstey in turn 1. So Kennard, right where he was in Moto 1, is up front early in Moto 2. And you got the 41 of Matt Lemoyne, one of the other Texans right there. So the hometown fans have got something to cheer for. The kid from Oklahoma's in the lead. The kid from Texas is in second. Another kid from Texas, Wharton, is in third. And there's the 377. Pourcel is way back. Yeah, he and Dungey, the inside didn't work as good for him. It was just a log jam in there. They got shuffled back pretty far, so it's take 2 for Kennard out front. Got a teammate back there behind him. Sometimes that helps you relax just a little bit more. I don't see any real heavy contenders that are faster than Kennard back there to bother him just yet. Yeah, I was going to say the 119, the orange bike, that's Anstey. He is a rookie out of England, just turned pro. It's the best start we've seen him get. Dungey's not too far back, though. He's already tried to make moves on the number 43 of Brock Tickle. Dungey with the yellow bike with the red plate. Going to try to work his way around Tickle on the outside. Here's your leader, Kennard, putting a little distance between himself and Matt Lemoyne. You see that blue tube in the back of his helmet. He's got the drink system going.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's we heard from Mike Alessi, who's been running that today in the 450 class, and he said, you know, it's not so much that I reach up and have to grab that thing and drink from it that much. It's just that your mouth gets so dry here because of all the heat. So sometimes that bothers you more than anything else out there. Kennard picking a wide line around that sweeper. Everyone else except Dungey going to the inside. And Dungey, he has no choice. He has to go wherever the riders in front of him aren't just to make passes. But he is at least in front of his championship rival Pourcel, and he makes the pass on Tickle. So now it's Kennard, Lemoyne, Wharton, and then Dungey in fourth. It's a sand section, very difficult. Yeah, I talked about when we looked at the local kids. I mean, just them having an advantage. A lot of good riders on the horizon, young riders, that is, coming out of the amateur ranks. Dungey was pretty much drafted, you know, way early in his amateur career, and it's worked out for him. Doesn't work for everybody, but there's a bunch of kids coming up, and a couple of them running second and third, right ahead of Ryan right now. All right, so it's Wharton in third, Dungey up to fourth, made a couple passes early, didn't get the starts he wanted today, but we count 2 motos. A second in Moto 1 for Dungey. If he wins Moto 2 at 2-1, you can't beat that, and he'll still be the overall winner.
but he's got some work to do. Trey Kennard trying to pull away out front. And you got Lemoyne, Wharton, and here's Dungey. And that jersey comes untucked on the first lap of just about every moto for Dungey. Maybe a little bonus ventilation, which in the heat out here in Texas is probably a good thing.
You know, riders used to wear a kidney belt, and that just kind of kept it tucked in. These days, guys like hanging loose a little bit more. I mean, Villopoto's jersey always came out. Stewart used to have that happening. It doesn't matter. As long as you're going fast, people can read the sponsors on it, your number. Flap in the breeze, whatever it takes.
Well, he can see the 61 on the back of the rider in front of him. Wharton, he's that close. Meanwhile, Wharton going after Lemoyne. Good job by Lemoyne to block the line, and they all chose that rut in the middle. There's only one way through there. Here's a section of the track where Dungey made passes in Moto 1. Cannot make it work around Wharton. I thought Dungey was going to try to work it around the outside. Let's see as they come down to the left-hander. Wharton doing a great job protecting his lines.
Yeah, because of the heat and the wind, it's been steady all day. It's drying the track out so much. It's hard to keep those outside lines, you know, as tacky and fresh as the inside. Here comes an inside move.
He's going to try to make that work. It's a long sweeper, so it's hard to tell at the beginning if your line's going to work it at the end. But Dungey just said, I don't care. I'm going to get both of you. Unbelievable. And that was rough. Dungey just held the pins.
That first lap, he went wide like Kennard, and it's just dry out there. You can't hook up and really get aggressive on it without running some risks of losing the back end or just drifting out off the racetrack. And plus, it's a longer distance.
Lemoyne's got to be thinking, what the heck happened, man? I was in second. I didn't even realize Dungey was there. Dungey goes from fourth to second, and it's close behind Lemoyne, who's behind Wharton. Everybody, we're talking Anstey, Searle, Tickle, Kyle Cunningham, who's another Texan in 8th, Metcalf and Rattray. That brings you to the back of the top 10, and all these guys are in a pack, and that has been the theme of the series in this 250 class. Look at Searle. These are two English riders on KTM. Searle making the move around Anstey. And then behind Anstey, you have Tickle and Metcalf. It's unbelievably deep in this 250 class, and here's the trouble. With all this talent, it's very difficult for Christophe Pourcel to move toward the front of the pack. Pourcel is in 12th right now.
Yeah, with Dungey in second and time to catch Kennard for another 3-point gap. 25 for a win, 22 for second. And you know he wants to win anyway, but to put those 3 points on Pourcel right now after losing a little bit to him the first moto, we'll get those back plus more. And that's assuming Pourcel can move up. Right now, sit back in 12th.
That's a lot of riders to get through.
Yeah, just to get to the top 5 will be amazing.
All right, we'll keep tabs on Pourcel. How far can he climb? Can Kennard hold off Dungey? Lots to solve. Stay with us. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championships. You're watching Moto 2 from Freestone Raceway in Worthing, Texas. Jason Wygant and 4-time champ David Bailey giving you the call. Look at this traffic. Tommy Searle, Max Anstey, Brett Metcalf, Rob Tickle, Kyle Cunningham. Bunch of other Kawasaki's back there. Tyler Rattray's in that group. This is crazy.
This is the kind of traffic I wish I could be in. Usually when I'm in traffic, I'm like, come on, man.
They're not going slow. No.
This is a fast pace. Man, we're going to be in for this all year. You know, I mean, if a couple guys drop, there's plenty of substitute guys like this that are back in the pack right now. Pourcel being one of those guys. Durham, we had a great first moto. He's sitting in 11th, just ahead of Pourcel. They're not in this right here. Look at this freight train battle. It's what, you know, people talk about the 80s being, oh man, those are some good years. It was really close. It's closer than it ever was right now. Look at all these guys coming through the frame.
This is unbelievable. Searle made a big mistake entering that sand section. Anstey tries to answer back. Metcalf has been in these types of battles for pretty much every lap of the series so far. I talked about it yesterday at press day, and he's like, man, it's awesome. I like it. Of course, I'd like to pull away from the guys and just dominate, but he's a racer, and you like racing, and he's got 2 KTMs in front of him, a Yamaha and a bunch of Kawasaki's behind him. Metcalf has just been a magnet for these battles. There's Searle, Anstey, Metcalf, Tickle, Cunningham, Rattray. No, it's Pourcel now in front of Rattray, so Pourcel starting to come to full boil there.
Yeah, after years of watching McGrath dominate, and then Carmichael, and then James Stewart, it's so refreshing, not just as a fan, but as a rider too. If you're racing against those guys, and you get second, you know, you've lost. It's like losing at boxing. Okay, there's not anybody back there that you beat.